starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We are going to get right to weather. That is obviously the big news of the day. James Sahara joining us now. James, there's so much that we've been keeping an eye on today, including the I-74 bridge, with traffic sort of looks like it's moving slowly. We see some activity off on the kind of the top of the screen here.
Right. I mean, it's been a day of not just the temperatures and the snow and the blowing snow that has been going on, but of course we've been looking at a bunch of road conditions going on, cameras I should say,
right.
Across the area, and of course from the Bridgepoint camera, and we just missed it, but there was very slow traffic going Illinois bound, where there was an accident that took place just past this camera alone. So people have been taking it nice and slow, and we're seeing that just about everywhere across eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois. In fact, we go to our road conditions map. Anywhere you see that magenta, John, that is where you got 100% snow cover. And you can see it's really covering most of our viewing area. What really sticks out, though, is right around what? Iowa City, the Cedar Rapids, and Grinnell. That's purple. That means not advised.
Right, and that's I-80.
And that is I-80.
That's a major thoroughfare.
That's right, because mainly those winds are coming right out of the northwest, so we're still seeing a lot of that blowing snow covering what was already kind of plowed in those particular areas. And with those winds expected to increase, we're going to expect to see those same conditions, I think, in the rural areas. And we are stressing rural areas are going to be impacted the most as we head overnight. Here are the current numbers. These are current temperatures, and we're already below zero. The coldest right now in Burlington, Dubuque at -8, -10 degrees we're noticing in Cedar Rapids. Skies are improving. We'll be seeing that in all of our hometowns, but the winds are not going to be decreasing. They are going to stay pretty high. You can see those wind gusts kind of blinking right now, over 30 miles an hour. We'll expect those winds to even get as high as 40 or 45 miles an hour in local spots. So add that to the temperatures, and look at the wind chills that we're dealing with. Wow, numbers are actually around 30 below or colder in some spots across the area. And those are going to be kind of the average that we'll see as we go through the rest of the night. At the airport of Moline, -4. It feels like 29 degrees with that west-northwest wind at 23. The snow is all said and done, but the blowing snow will continue, and that will once again make it a problem, a concern for anyone that may be doing any traveling, whether it may be on the interstate or even on those secondary roadways as well. And to get a first-hand account of what's going on those roads, we take our way to the Beast, and meteorologist Morgan Strackbine coming back a day early to help us out here in the Beast. And Morgan, I guess you can say, kind of a good idea you came back here a day early.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that I made the right decision to come back a day early. After waking up this morning and seeing how those conditions were, I did not even want to mess with it. This is actually the first time I am out on the roads today, and it is still crazy how much of an impact that we're still seeing out there, even after the fact that the snow has basically already been set and done. But like you said, we still have a lot of those winds. So right now we are on LeClaire Road in Eldridge, just got off 61, and a lot of these secondary roads and a lot of these little off-roads or county roads even, you can see right there we have a lot of blowing snow that's happening. So that's really what's going to be that concern, like you said, as we go through the overnight hours and even into tomorrow. Even though we're not really going to be dealing with any more snowfall added on to this, we are going to continue with those winds, and those winds are taking the snow and just blowing it right back on. So again, you could drive through something and think, oh yeah, that looks clearer. Well, 20 minutes later with all this wind, it's probably going to push some more snow back onto the surfaces. So it's going to continue to keep it cold. And also mind you that we do have those really severely cold wind chills that we're dealing with, and technically salt doesn't really like temperatures that are below 25 degrees. It starts to impact the ability for salt to work even. So we're going to continue to expect a lot of slick conditions. So of course right now we're in Eldridge, but we're going to be making our rounds a little bit around the Quad Cities area, and we'll continue to check in with you guys in a little bit. John.
All right, Morgan, thank you. And you and Alfonso, please be careful out there. Now, a little bit earlier, we showed you a live look at the I-74 bridge. Well, take a look at this. This is a time-lapse video from around 9 this morning. You can see the bridge slowly sort of disappearing as the snow blows in. The roads, as we showed you, looking much better than this morning. But make sure you still drive with caution. Cities are asking drivers to move their parked vehicles off of designated snow routes to help with the snow removal efforts. Travelers are facing a lot of delays and cancellations with this storm. There were a handful of those here this morning, but as News 8's Josh Lamberty explains, there's a group at the Quad Cities International Airport helping keep traffic moving.
Of all the people inside the Quad Cities International Airport today, of all the bags making it here on time,
Well, I was doubting it a little bit, but I'm very thankful to be here.
and of all the plans for this holiday weekend,
I flew up to Chicago and then to here.
not even the snowstorm could stop Chloe Smith from getting here.
It wasn't snowing in Chicago at all, and so we just flew right into the snow.
But happening just outside is a crew fighting for flights.
Going that way.
Eric Whale is one of the people keeping this runway clear.
While it's snowing, we're out here, period. I mean, we'll be out here until it stops snowing, really.
But today's snow isn't really his challenge.
We'll be here on doing 12s to make sure that the snow stays off the runway.
Visibility, though, is a challenge too.
Totally losing view.
For hours, Eric goes up and down the runway,
Yep, 2 miles, basically.
even if the airline's schedule changes.
We're still out here getting rid of the snow off of it, just in case we have a small plane that comes in.
We have to, keep things moving.
Marlon Jackson is overseeing the cleanup.
The wind's going to be challenging for the next 2 or 3 days for us. If it was just snow, we could broom it, we'd be done. But we're going to have to keep going to certain areas that are going to pocket up.
So the cleanup will continue,
We're catching the edge line, we're good.
constantly keeping this runway clear,
It's a fight sometimes.
a fight this team plans to blow away. Josh Lamberty, WQAD News 8.
And maintenance staff say usually delays or cancellations are because of issues at other airports. Eric expects he'll be back late tonight to work another shift into the early morning, especially because of that blowing snow. And snowplow drivers and travelers aren't the only one braving the storm this morning. There were still a few shoppers and restaurant goers out and about in Moline, even as those bands of snow moved in. But bad luck forced some people outside, even though they would have rather stayed at home.
Because the handle broke off my oven and I'm trying to get something to fix it. So hopefully it'll work.
I think I'm losing my mind. Please don't do what I'm doing. Save yourself. It's cold as I don't know what out here. Please stay at home.
Best advice you could hear all day. And this is a good time to remind you to only drive, as he said, if you absolutely have to. The National Weather Service's winter storm warning is in effect until Saturday morning.